What's up, vapors? Thanks for checking out Daily Vape TV. My name is Nick, and it's Fresh Build Friday. That's right, it's that time of the week again where we get you ready for the weekend with a brand new coil build. Alright guys, so I've got a fun one for you guys to try out today. This is the Flapton Coil build using some of this stuff right here. This is flat wire from our friends over at Flatwire. Make sure you check out the link right down there in the description if you want to pick some of this stuff up because it is really good wire to use. So with that, yeah, I really wanted to try this one out. A lot of you guys were commenting on my Flatwire build videos saying I should do this one, so here it is today. Without further ado, let's go ahead and grab our mod, our wick, our addy, our wire, our tools, all that good stuff. Let's go down to the close-up view and build it up. Alright guys, as you can see here, we've got the wire for today's build. We're going to be using some of this stuff right here. This is the Flatwire 22 gauge stainless steel that we used not too long ago. And our outer wire wrap is going to be with this stuff right here, which is Lightning Vape's 38 gauge Nichrome 80. There you go, Nichrome 80 outer wire. So first things first, let's just go ahead and get our strand of flat wire all set up here. We won't need much for today's build because we are just doing a single coil, but there we go, we've got our piece all ready to go. So first thing I'm going to do real quick is just set it up in my drill. Let's go ahead and grab our outer wire wrap, which is a 38 gauge here, and just get that started like we normally do. Wrap it around that extra piece of wire sticking out that end there. That usually works pretty good. So, alright, I think we are ready to go. So let's go ahead and Clapton this stuff. Alright guys, so today we're going to be wrapping around this 3.5mm bit here. That is, I think, the ideal size for what we're trying to do here. So I'm just going to go ahead and start our coil off. Actually, you know what? I'm probably going to have to finagle this a little bit here with the Teflon pliers. No, sorry, nylon pliers. I always get that wrong. Nylon pliers. Because it's flat wire and it likes to go in one direction. So we're just going to do 6 wraps today. I think that should be good. We got 4, 5, 6. I'm actually going to do an extra wrap and take one off of the other end because I see a little tiny mistake, and that's just going to bug the hell out of me if I leave that on there. So we're just going to go 7 wraps and then take the first wrap off of this side, which ought to do the trick here. And I can hear a bug buzzing around. You guys ever get that where you can hear it but you can't see it and it just annoys the crap out of you? It's just one of those days. I don't know, just something about it. But you know what? It's Friday, so I'm not going to let it get to me. Even though my spool of wire just splayed out everywhere and it's a big mess, and I was trying to get it back into place and just didn't want to go. So anyways, we've got our coil all set here. Let's just give you guys a good look at that. There we go. Simple little Flapton coil. I think it looks pretty good. I mean, yeah, there is a few little gaps here and there. You know, nothing too major, but it was my first attempt, so give me a break. Today we're going to be using this one right here. This is the Springer RTA from Tiger Tech. It's new. I'm pretty excited to use it. So let's just get our tools all set up and get this thing on the old ohm reader. So to install it, all I'm going to be doing is just pushing down on these 2 terminals right there, and that opens up the little post holes. So it should be a pretty easy install here. So I'm actually going to cut off some of this excess here real quick. Just like that. I'll just leave that part on for right now. We'll get this side installed first. And wow, I was expecting a lot weaker springs, but no, that is definitely not the case with this one here. These springs are very, very strong, and I'm actually kind of almost struggling to seat this coil because of it. So push down. And let's see, we could probably manage this like one at a time here. What we can do is push down on that and bring that in. I have to get the timing right because you got to let go before you let go of the pliers. Just like that. All right, all right. And I think that's a good, that's an appropriate spot for this coil here. Looks all right to me. Maybe a little bit more tension on this side here. There we go. Straighten it up a little bit here. All right, so let's just go ahead and trim off our leads. Snip and snip, just like that. Let's meter our coils here. 0.25, not bad. You know, it's low, but it's not too low. It's going to be going on a single battery mod, so that's good. So let's just go ahead and see how these things heat up here. Well, we're jumping up a little bit to 0.29, which is, you know, to be expected. Getting a little higher now, 0.36, 0.37. Oh, wow. This jumps up really high. But that's not a big deal, honestly. With a single battery device, you kind of want a higher resistance, so that's a good thing in my book. So we're settling in right at the 0.38 mark, which is just fine by me. And the coil's looking pretty darn good already. So I'm happy with that. Hopefully you guys can see that nice little orange glow from the inside out. That's exactly what we want here. One more time for good measure. Yeah. All right, well, that was a pretty easy little install. Let's go and wick this thing. Well, all right, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, we've got the Springer RTA all ready to rock and roll here, so let's go ahead and check out some vapor production. You know what? Not bad. Not bad. I've got the mod set currently at 60 watts, and it's actually doing pretty well. So let's just juice it up one more time here, and let's give her a go again. Yeah. I think this is going to be a pretty darn good vape. All right, so let's go back to the main screen, have a quick vape on this thing, and we'll talk about it some more. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the build. Now let's talk about the coil that we just put in our Springer RTA here. So first and foremost, it came out to 0.3 ohms on the money. It kind of fluctuated a little bit as it was heating up and cooling down. So I don't know, it ended up right around the 0.3 mark. It tends to fluctuate between 0.3 and 0.31. I'm vaping it at 55 watts, right at the 4-volt mark. So with that, as far as my first category goes, which is the heat factor is actually pretty low on this one, which I like. It's kind of a warm-ish vape. It's really not hot whatsoever. It's kind of right there in the middle, which I really like. The airflow is set to wide open on the Springer RTA here, and I get a nice, smooth, long draw out of it with no dry hits whatsoever. So that right there is absolutely perfect for me. For my second category, which is the ramp up and ramp down time, the ramp up time is a little bit longer, about the 1 second mark or so. I was kind of expecting this to heat up a lot quicker, especially since the core is stainless steel, but with that, I don't mind it so much. Once this thing gets going, it is absolutely gorgeous to vape on. So let's go ahead and take a drag off of this thing and we'll check out the ramp down time. So the ramp down time on this one is a little bit longer than I was expecting, around the 4 to 5 second mark. And, you know, considering the heat factor of this one is so low, I really wasn't expecting such a long ramp down time. However, after the 3 second mark, it really slows down to a very, very, very low sizzle. It's almost impossible to hear, but it goes away completely after about 5 seconds or so. So a little bit surprising on this one here. I really expected with such a large diameter coil, it wouldn't hold so much heat, especially with the heat factor being so low. But yeah, I guess it's just everything every coil is a little bit different. As for my third category, which is the difficulty of this build, this one was made a whole lot easier with the actual device itself. Now, as you saw in the close-ups, all you have to do with this one here is push down on the terminals, slide that coil in there, and then adjust it a little bit before you're ready to go. And with this one here, if you're like me and put a lot of tension on your coils as you're adjusting the positioning, then make sure you just hold on to the opposite end of the wire on the other side of the post with a pair of pliers or something, just in case, because these springs are very tight, but they're not 100%. So just be a little bit careful with that. And as for the wire making process itself, it wasn't that difficult for me because I'm pretty well versed in the area of fuse Claptons, and that's exactly what this one reminded me of. I did struggle a little bit past the halfway mark with the actual tension on the spool. It tended to double up a little bit more than I'm used to, so I guess I got to practice a little bit more with those, especially with these smaller gauge wires. And for my fourth and final category, which is the flavor on this build, today I'm vaping some of this fresh squeezed pineapple berries by my friends at Vapor Stockroom. This stuff is absolutely delicious and reminiscent of summer. It's starting to get a little bit cooler here in New England, so I'm trying to hang on to that feeling of summer for as long as I possibly can, and this stuff is definitely helping. So as for the flavor on this particular build, it's pretty darn good. I do get a nice sweet and sour kind of pineapple on the inhale and a little hint of berries on the exhale. However, it doesn't quite stack up to my normal fuse Clapton coils with Nichrome 80 as the core. It just doesn't quite do it for me. The flavor isn't really well rounded. It's not very whole. I don't get more of these kind of sweeter notes. I definitely get more of these sour notes for the pineapple, and that's about it. I really don't get a lot of the sweeter berry kind of flavors towards the end, and that's what it really is missing for me. So that about does it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more videos just like this. Don't forget to click that notification bell right next to the subscribe button if you want to be alerted whenever I upload videos. Big shout out to you guys in the notification squad for getting here early. Also, leave me some comments in the box below. I'd love to hear your thoughts all about the Flapton build or anything else you want to discuss down there. If you have a suggestion for a future episode of Fresh Build Friday, leave it down there and I'll try to get to it as soon as I can. But with that, make sure you also check out the advocacy and my social media links right down there in the box below. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and as always, vape on!